tonight, and we are being recorded. To get started, I want to introduce who's at the table here. So to my right is our village clerk, Scott Dillman. I'm Ben Detloff, trustee Morgan Worrell, trustee Gary Morgan, and our police chief, Carl Fry, and trustee Susie Weedle is here, and our village president, Jamie Hawkins. Susie's here. I think she might have used the rest of it. So one of the things here that I have in mind, and I want to explain what the outline, there's some extra agendas here if anybody wants to follow along, and I wrote some notes here, but on the outline is I'm going to form some committees here, and the goal is to get as many people involved that care to participate in village events. The second thing is I will work with committees as chairperson and coordinator, but I won't micromanage your efforts, meaning that if you make plans, I won't come in and change your plans as long as it's the best interest for the village. I can't ask someone to help me and then come in and change everything that you put in place, because my feelings would be you should do it yourself then. So to get people involved, I want everybody's input, everybody's idea, and that's why I tried to reach out and ask other people other than board members, come and be part of this so we can make it a better program. All expenditures, when necessary, I would like to be brought to me as chairperson. And when needed be, I will bring those in front of the village board for approval. So we want to rent or buy something for our two coming events. If you could bring it to my attention, then we'll bring it to the village board and get approval on it. As chairperson, I'm going to take full responsibility for any negative comments or outcomes of any planned village events. This is a new start that we're going to do right now, and my goal is to work together, because when one wins, we all win on this. And I don't want any, we're not going to be able, or I'm not going to be able to please everybody. But if somebody wants to be negative towards me, and I will address the problem and try to make the best outcome as I can. So if time allows, at the end, I will take any questions from anybody in the audience or board members. And if not, we'll go ahead and get started with this meeting. And if you want to ask me something in the village board meeting, I will be happy to answer your questions. So we're going to start with Halloween. Madam President, she will explain what Halloween we got going on here and some ideas that President Hawkins has.
So first off, I had a memory pop up on Facebook. I guess at the beginning of COVID, we had used these so that people would know who is participating in trick-or-treating and who might not be, just to save the kids a trip up some stairs or something. So we will have these available at the village hall, I believe Casey's, and then, other businesses, if anyone wants to put it up in their window, just to show that, yes, I am participating, anyone that might not have one, maybe avoid that door or that house on trick-or-treating night. But this is just something to try and save some time and some steps or whatever. It seemed like a good idea. A couple other moms, we were gonna send this out to the school just so that if someone's participating, they can get one from there. For the park, we have our party that we're doing 4 to 7. We have a donated haunted house type feature that is being donated by a local family. It will take up about half of this building. It's more of a walkthrough thing, just kind of something different to have up here. We will obviously still have, I believe, the hot dogs and juice and cookies Ben and I will take care of. And then any volunteers that want to help, we will be here Sunday and Monday. With hours, we'll let you know. We're probably 8 to 4 or something.
Yeah, whatever we.
So anyone that can come and help, that would be great. Just to put the structure together, and go from there. And I believe trick-or-treating hours are 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah, in the local towns and in our town too. So
Do you want to mention anything about the possible date on the opening of the multi-use path?
Oh, yeah. I was just doing my house.
Yeah, if you would like to.
Right now?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
would, if you don't mind.
And then for the walk path, we do have a, ribbon cutting grand opening. Softly or scheduled for the date. Saturday, the 28th. Anywhere around 2 or 3-ish. Christine Wick is gonna take the charge of getting, her bike people ready. They're gonna do like, a bike ride, their last bike ride around town for the fall season. I think it's about 45 minutes, and then we'll all meet, weather pending, up at the White Walk Path at a certain destination. Do a little ceremony, and then Godfather's Pizza is trying to encourage residents to eat their pizza. So they are gonna donate either some slices or a couple pizzas for that event for anyone that comes. So that we'll have pizza or slices, like I said, and have the path finally officially open. Not that it's not being used now, but go further.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Morgan.
Circle back to Halloween, there's a family in town that won a contest, Paul and Lisa D,
Oh, yeah.
and they won that huge Friendly Signs thing. So Friendly Signs just need to know, Happy Signs, sorry, just need to know where to set it up and what time on Halloween and where you guys want it up front.
Yeah, yeah, my sister did reach out to me. I have not gotten back to her, but I was gonna,
Yeah, why
It's
don't,
like quite the setup.
yeah, why don't, you guys kind of coordinate what you think is best? If you're more familiar with the sign company,
okay.
and, that
Okay.
sounds like a great idea.
Just like all day Halloween or just?
Yeah,
Halloween?
probably, yeah. What it is, Happy Signs, which we used for the fest. We had that sign out front that said Grand Park Fall Fest. They had a contest going and one of our residents won the contest, correct? And they decided to donate the sign for Halloween to the village, just to probably draw a crowd and just show community support. So that'll be out front, probably, yes, sure along right here, maybe right in front of the sign.
Okay.
For everyone to enjoy on Halloween and know that we're here, trying to have some fun.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, we all set? Anything else, Sam? The next thing I have is tree lighting, and I spoke to Mr. Morgan, concerning tree lighting. So do you have any, dates or information on that?
Usually the Grand Park Foundation puts up their tree, the sign is probably the first week that goes into December, so.
Wasn't that the chamber who did that?
The tree belongs with the foundation.
It was always
I
advertised.
mean,
as
the Chamber of Commerce kind of did that because the foundation was a member of the chamber, and that was more of a way to reach out, but the trees always belong to the foundation. In fact, both trees belong to the foundation, and because the one, rusted and kind of fell apart, they gave the foundation a second.
Okay, so ma'am,
Lost or fall apart.
so,
The
yeah,
lights were-
I think we're gonna go with December 1st, if that's okay, if everyone is okay with it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
just-
Oh, no, I know, you're fine, you're excused, yep, no. Right by that parking lot, should be suffice. They have a little gathering, we'll do some hot chocolate, some cookies, maybe an elf or Santa or something will be there for kids. But we will coordinate with the foundation on further details for that.
I will happily do your hot chocolate.
Okay, Sounds
Okay,
good.
once we get more information, we can get it out on social media,
Yep.
so everybody knows at this time.
a
And
specific time, yep.
yes, okay.
We have tried singing. If you want to sing Carol, don't you laugh just because you're the only one in the carried to.
We can make
We might
one
need
here.
some people who can actually sing.
Well,
You can reach out to the choir.
Yeah.
At the school. maybe.
Just saying,
Yeah,
that would be good.
go ahead, Ms. Warhol.
Is that the same, time as the Christmas in the Village? Was that the same weekend or is it another weekend?
No, I would ask the college.
Oh,
Next Saturday. The ninth, so that probably should go on your list too. That Christmas in the Village is the next
December
weekend.
9th.
And then in addition to that, after that's done, in about 15 minutes, we'll be down at the train having Polar Express and hot chocolate.
So maybe at the next meeting, which would be, just before the next village board meeting, November sixth, so we can have some actual
I'll have more
times and
con-
dates
yeah,
and
concrete
everything,
time,
and
yep.
we can let people know that this is coming up within a few weeks.
Sounds good. And Ms. Rooney, you had a question?
I don't know if it's related, but somebody was doing something in town with donated ornaments.
Oh, yeah, she's gonna speak at the meeting.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
Nope, yeah.
Hey, Beth,
Yes,
any thoughts to trying to get a real tree donated to put into that, stand that's on the corner by the post office there? One year it happened, and I thought it was kind of cool. Having a real tree there, but
We could definitely look into it for next year.
yeah,
I
if
think I might
somebody,
see Behind the ball this
I'm
year.
good, you talk.
it's pretty, I mean, the base, I think, is pretty good size, right?
yeah, based.
I think it's 8 inches.
Yeah, it's good size.
We, in fact, when it was there, we hadn't shot it.
Yeah. So, I mean, just a thought, I mean, it already exists there, it's-
Yeah.
There are a couple tree nurseries in the area, and maybe they would be willing to possibly donate a tree to the village. So, yeah, we can definitely look into that.
But not a 5 footer.
No,
They have
something where,
done that and it's like really.
well, just so everybody can see it, there's no sense putting the tree up if you don't know it's there.
Miss Vick is here if she wants to go in a little bit deeper with the path opening.
If you want.
Oh, yeah, so that was gonna be my question as far as the bike ride. Obviously, we'll probably start at the bike shop. I figured we'll do a little loop around town like we normally do, and then we'll come down. I can't think of the name of the street that crosses over the tracks. But when you come out on Hamilton Farm Drive,
Greenwood, I think.
say Greenwood, thank you. And then make a right on Hamilton Farm Drive. And then that's the start of the path. So you want us to stop, stop there, have a little ceremony, go down a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be in that general area where we can all fit, but yeah, we'll get more details on exactly where to meet at.
Okay, because I figured even if we ride down the path, it's like, are we gonna go into Casey's parking lot then?
Yeah,
And then where are we gonna eat pizza? Like, are we gonna go down to Health Park and eat down there? Or,
we're working on it now, so you can all collaborate and come up with a good solution.
okay, yeah, just because I want to get the info out as soon as I can, because we're getting close.
Yes,
but-
ma'am.
But yeah, so I figure we'll start at like 2 o'clock or something, like 2 o'clock ride.
Okay,
And it'll probably just be like a 30-minute
okay,
ride. So,
thank you.
Yep,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So now the next meeting, then we'll have more information on tree lighting, so we'll have a date and time and everything that's gonna go on there, so. Next thing on my agenda is Christmas Day dinner, which is Mr. Sherman. Are you still putting that on?
Oh, yes. This year I've recruited Scott to be the co-chairman of our site, because he's always been here through the years, so one of those things where something would ever happen to me, somebody goes, well, Bob did it, but I'm not sure how, what he did behind the scenes.
Well,
So Scott's my right-hand man.
And when you guys will still have a sign-up sheet at the village hall for
Yeah.
anybody that wants to help you out for
Yeah.
whatever you need, or,
Yeah, basically, we're gonna need people, say, starting at 10 o'clock to start showing up, and a few to come earlier to set the table, so,
okay.
like normal.
And if somebody has a question, they can get a hold of Scott or yourself and say, hey, I'd like to be part of it, can you direct me?
Yep.
And
There'll actually be 2 sign-up sheets, one for people that want to eat. And then the volunteers, and the reason for the people who want to eat, so we can prepare for the proper number of people.
And probably the earlier that you have a sign-up sheet for people that want to help, the better, so you know how many that you can count on then. and-
Typically, it's about the 1st of December, we put it
Yeah,
out somewhere
usually
around
that
there.
first week of December.
And the sign-up goes until a few days before Christmas.
I just thought I'd mention it because some people have asked, like, who do I talk to? And I knew you, but now I can say either one of you two. And then you will direct them to, yeah, I'd like to have you here at this time and, okay. Thank you very much. The next thing on my agenda is cabin fever. And what I'm gonna do here is break this up into committees. Now I have 4 committees and anybody can volunteer for these committees. Now, the first committee is someone who takes charge of the date, the theme, and decorating. Is anybody interested in that?
You know,
That's gonna be up to the person who takes this on. I figured the theme and decorating are gonna go hand in hand. And I thought they could just pick the date. Now, normally it was in February, but I'm not gonna say, here's the date we're gonna have it. So is anybody interested in those three items? And that would be the date, the theme, and decorating for this event.
I would do something, whatever I could do. And put me down, Ben.
What are your other,
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm gonna try to get as many people involved in the different things so everybody feels like they're part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say, here's the date I picked, or here's the theme I picked, and I want you to decorate. And then, you know, I would say, let me jump right on that here. So that's why I thought the theme and the decorating would be combining of the two.
You get, might be helpful to name all four.
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and then I'm gonna mention the other three committees. The second one is entertainment, someone to pick out a band. And then they could coordinate the band with Mr. Morgan's bingo. 'Cause I'm not gonna,
What?
well, we usually have bingo at Cabot Fever. So,
Okay, so there's a band, yeah.
well, we had that last year. We had the band and then we had bingo at, so,
And we have bingo till the band.
yeah. Okay, so, and then anybody, whether that wants to help you can be part of this. Doesn't have to be someone that lives here in town, it could be a friend of yours that just wants to help out. And then when you get things more in line, organized as far as, hey, here's a band and here they're willing to play at this time from this cost. You can bring it to us at one of the meetings and then we can present it in front of the board and get everybody's input on yes or no, and then, okay? The next one I have is food and alcohol. So we're gonna serve food. I don't have anything in mind on what we're gonna serve. I'm gonna leave that up to whoever wants to be part of this. And then as far as the alcohol, and how we're gonna do, we sold beer last year and whiskey, and I don't know what else we have, seltzers or something, but is anybody interested in doing the food and the alcohol?
No, but, I can help with decorations depending on the date.
Well, the date would be totally up to this committee.
Which,
Anybody, whoever takes this assignment, that's your assignment, the date, the theme, and the decorating. You say, we're gonna do it
with you.
February, whatever, February 8th. That's the date we picked, and then we start advertising. For me to go and say, I'm gonna do it on this date, and here's the theme, and here's how we're gonna
Oh,
decorate.
no, I understand.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel committee-ish yet.
Well,
we're working
I
on it.
appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
Please make no mistake. It's just, we won't have a date tonight, right? And-
No.
And, okay, so we need more meetings to kind of.
well,
straighten
we're
that
gonna
out.
have, what we're gonna do is we won't move on to the next thing until the cabin fever is buttoned up. Because there's gonna be a lot of work involved to get it, and we're already in, you know, the end of October.
No.
So February, if we're gonna do it in February, we need to really get going. And my goal is next year, hopefully, when you finish one event, that group of people is already planning for the next one. Instead of waiting until a couple months before we're gonna put it on. It'll make it a little bit easier and we'll have a better idea of what maybe worked and what didn't work. And we can add to it or subtract from this.
So if it is February, you have February, Saturday the 10th and the 17th. We could start with those 2 days and then the committee could look at their availability for those who want to do the decorating. You have to at least pick a month, don't you? You don't
Well,
have to- it doesn't
I
have to
guess
be written
traditionally it has been in February.
Yeah.
So that I figured we were gonna have it in February. The date to me wasn't as important because, you know, maybe somebody, half the people here were involved in something in that first date, so we'd have to make it the next one. I just want to get things moving along because before we know it, we're gonna be into the holidays and we're not gonna have a lot of time to put this together, so. Yes.
Yeah, Ben, could we start a list tonight? So her and I can go on a list?
Sure, yeah, that's no problem. Actually, I'm writing your names down as
Oh, good.
doing this stuff, so I have an idea, so. What were those 2 dates?
Saturday the tenth or Saturday the seventeenth?
We do have to, I'm sorry, make sure the park is not rented,
Yeah,
so,
well, that's why it's kind of necessary that we nail something down, because when I seen Carrie the other day, she's holding this open, but if we don't come up with one of these 2 dates.
Yeah.
Right now, is either one of these dates acceptable? Does one sound better than the other? Because then we could at least get the building secured,
what were they, I'm sorry?
the 10th and the 17th.
17th,
Yes,
Either of those are fine.
I'm off either one, yeah. Or, I mean, we could even push it back to the 2nd, that's just the last weekend there,
yeah.
if we need be, March 2nd, this also could be a good one.
So out of those 2 dates in February, does anybody have an opinion? Can we pick one?
Either one of those are fine.
Okay,
I go
like-
later.
I like the
That-
17th as
Yeah,
well.
I
Okay.
go later. than-
so Saturday the 17th, right now, that's where we're gonna go. I'll let Carrie know that that's what we decided on.
Okay.
So with the date picked, do we have anybody who's interested? June, I know you are, with the theme and decorating.
Oh,
Anyone?
oh, decorating,
Decorating and theme?
sure.
Okay, so
Laugh at me, that's not funny.
and then anybody you wanna recruit with you to help you along with it?
I truly suck at that.
Well,
I really, I feel like that's such an imposition and I don't know how to do it very well.
You can put my name as a person to help with decorating and
okay,
all that goes with it.
so maybe
Warm body.
you can say, hey, I'm gonna be here decorating or what, you're gonna come up with a theme. So at our next meeting, November 6th, I have 2 weeks to think about a theme. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, and then, you'll have plenty of time. So if the place isn't decorated, don't blame me, but,
You're gonna do that.
I'm gonna help you. I will help on all these things that we're gonna do here. I just want everybody involved as much as you can be involved. So June and Carol will be 2 people that you can contact, and me also for decorating. And Morgan is gonna take care of the entertainment, and then you will coordinate the band, the time of the band with Gary, to start a bingo, and we can,
bingo.
yeah, you guys can figure out, hey, we'll do it to this time and get started with that. So, as far as food and alcohol, is everybody interested in tackling that one?
I will tell you what happened at Bingo.
Okay,
The fundraiser was helped considerably by Ben and Curtis House, and I'm not suggesting that they're the only ones in town, but what happened was help me with the liquor license. How did that run?
They have a liquor license.
So that saved us all kinds of aggravation about that, although your village board can do
Get a
that.
liquor license.
Right,
If it's
so
only
that's
like
not-
$25, we can get it. We've got enough time, but you're right, liquor license and yeah.
And took the food and that was that. I didn't have to worry about it at all, which was great. I didn't have to cook, I didn't have to buy anything and nothing. So I'm just saying,
I mean, we could come up with some ideas. I don't have an idea what would we like to serve for food. But the quicker we get these ideas put in place, then we can actually not feel so rushed about getting this done, because food and alcohol, and the last thing on the list is donations. So we have to go out and talk to businesses, we have to, it's,
so I know, I
you
can't,
know,
I
I-
hope them all try for the
Yeah.
foundation, so.
I wouldn't mind, I mean, I don't have to spearhead it, but I wouldn't mind helping with the food and alcohol. If someone else-
that's fine. I mean, and bring on board anybody you
Yeah.
want. It doesn't mean,
No, I know, yeah.
no, since you're the only one that spoke up, you're in charge of, I'm putting you down here, so it's official
I
now.
love some food,
Yeah,
so.
food and alcohol, and then figure out how we
To
wanna do this. I
coordinate,
don't have an idea what's the best food, what's the best, if we're gonna serve besides, if we're gonna serve hard liquor or whoever we get. And then maybe at the next meeting, we don't have to have all the answers, but we'll have a start of
Yeah.
saying, here's some ideas, and we're gonna go forward from there with that.
Okay,
And then,
We need to, as a fest, we need control, we need to basically do the food and the alcohol.
well,
Because that's where the money's at.
yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. So donations.
no, that's a very good point. Yeah, whatever we do has to benefit the village.
Mhm.
So, the next one is, any volunteers wants to kind of head the donation program. Now, you won't be doing it by yourself, but there's a lot of work involved.
I don't think it's some donations. You gotta make the letter up though.
Now, what we'll do is we'll put, for monetary donations, and then like we did, last year with baskets and stuff, so anybody that wants to help out that way, the more hands that we get, the easier the job is on everybody. And then, more variety that, because this is a fundraiser for us, it's the one and only biggest that we have in the village to help us out, so.
Sorry.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Publicity on your, please.
Well, once we get after the next meeting, like we'll get more solid dates on the tree lighting, and we're gonna go with the 17th, and I'll talk to Carrie about saving that slot for us. Then we'll talk about how we're gonna start promoting this, because the earlier we get the word out, the better chance that you're gonna have a nice crowd.
Hey, Ben,
Yes,
is there a possibility for the bingo? I know we talked about it in the past. In order to, I guess for cabin fever, we get a really good crowd anyway, but give away monetary awards for that or some kind of license that was.
We could do it, we would need to get a license, the license is $500 for a full year.
Okay.
I think as much as people in this town love bingo, it could be worth it. I mean, I think we might be able to make the money back pretty easily. That would just be up to the community, but it is possible, we just have to apply for it. Sorry.
Gary, you know better since you ran the bingo. I mean, you think that's a good,
There's like 3 levels of license. As a village, we can just do bingo because we let senior citizens use this facility. And we only charge 50 cents a card, and we have limited prizes, which is a problem. Because of that, no license, no prizes. A 501c3 can pay $50 and do 2 bingos a year, but there's some problems with that, and they have to pay taxes. The third one would be the expensive license, where you really go to town and you can do unlimited prizes
We could
with
do-
that license.
And we could also do bingo multiple times on that one, it wouldn't just have to be one time.
Exactly.
and you can use the same license all through the year.
Yeah.
Expensive, and the people involved have to be certified by the state. You have to turn in your social security number, they do background research and stuff, and all that kind of thing, so to know that that's what's happening up front. But yeah, you can do all kinds of bingo licenses.
Don't you think that would be a benefit? Because you can,
We could easily do it at Cabin Fever Reliever and then at the fest.
well, we're gonna have it at both events, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like it's a one-time thing.
And again, the key is, like Carl's saying, if you've got a big prize, then you're gonna have people. And that was a help with the foundation, is they had really nice raffle prizes as well as bingo prizes. So people knew that if they won one of those prizes, it was more than the donation from the door.
So what do we have to do to apply for that license, or?
I
It's just
don't
an
remember.
An application, like he said, a person would have to be on it, which I have no problem doing. I've been background checked up and down 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So you can collab on that. Yeah. So
Yeah, we can look
we
at
can,
it.
we can
Could
have
could
that
you
ready
get
by
the
next week.
information and maybe bring it to the next meeting, and then we
Between the
can,
two of us will come up with what that license is. I mean, the law went through a change.
Yeah.
So years ago, something like that, so we'll take a look at it.
well, I mean, if we can offer bigger prizes, you're gonna bring in a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
And that's gonna benefit us, because we're doing a fundraiser, so.
Also with that, I'm sorry.
No, go
Also with
ahead.
that license, we would be allowed to do full class I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
else
that's
is
the
like
other
bingo,
pull
but
tabs.
pull tabs are very big money things when it comes to bingo, so.
Well, we have to take all advantages we can on these fundraisers, because we only get one chance to do it. So if you could bring the information back to us and we can do this, I think it's a pretty good idea.
So Ben, as an outsider, am I able to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
If that's $500 a year, no offense, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And I don't think you need to bring people in for monetary prizes. We had standing room only at Deb's fundraiser. And it was just gift cards and baskets. Right, Deb?
Yeah.
I mean, she even had to set up extra tables. I mean, that's a lot of money out of your profit, $500 with all the work involved with background, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I think that's worth a conversation, don't you think?
No, it is. I mean, we are gonna have baskets to raffle off at Cabin Fever. But I mean, to have, and it's good to have a different opinion, because that's why we're having this meeting.
It was, I have a remark on that, but, did you get a leader for your sponsorship committee? And I'm not volunteering to lead, but you could put me down if that person needs clerical or helping with mailing or a list of previous sponsors. I can help with that part.
Well,
And then
Morgan's
as-
gonna work on it. I'm gonna work with her
Okay,
on
so I-
donations, but I will ask
As
you to,
The bingo license, and this is just throwing this out there, as you said, that's why we're here. We have the two events where we could have bingo. Wouldn't it be feasible to add a March bingo party?
We could do-
Whenever there's a slow month,
We could do
and
it
use
once
that
a month.
license 4 times a year.
We could use it once a month if we wanted
Yeah,
to.
there,
if we got
we
enough
just do it
interest.
once a month
Yeah.
and generates a lot of
well, I
revenue.
mean,
And then the $500 doesn't seem as harsh.
Yeah,
and I'm in total agreement. I mean, if the more people we can bring into a fundraiser, the better it's gonna be for everything that we're trying to do here.
Mhm.
Instead of coming up with what kind of prizes are we gonna give out, but I do appreciate your input. But we're gonna have, baskets that hopefully we're gonna get donations and then monetary donations. That's how it worked last year to generate some revenue coming in. If we can offer something a little bit different than maybe not everybody else is doing, like you said, what the,
pull tabs, yeah.
what is that exactly?
It's just little cards and you just kind of pull the things off, and if you get a winner or a red number or something, you
Yeah.
get part of the pot.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to pull it up here so I can tell you an example, like this one, you would get 285 pull tabs for $90. They're $2 a piece, so people would pay $2 a piece. And then it breaks down what your profit would be and what your prizes are. So this one, for example, it shows me. It, never played a pull tab? I love those. I'll get better information when I have better service, but it breaks it down and it says if you spend $90 on pull tabs, you're gonna make this much money, you can give out this much prizes, and this will be your revenue, or your portion of the prizes, so. I'll get that for the next one.
Yeah, if you bring it up at the next meeting, we'll see what we need to vote on and move forward with it, and then, I don't know, how long does that licensing take? Is that something
It
that,
goes pretty fast.
Yeah.
I
Is
think
it?
we applied in August and got it like September 5th or 6th.
okay, yeah, the quicker we get some of this going in place, I think it'll be a little bit easier, and then once Cabin Fever gets done, then we'll tackle, the fall. I don't want to be worried about what's gonna happen in the fall when we're still worried about what's gonna happen in February. As we go along, if anybody has any other ideas that they would like to throw out there or anything. And like I said earlier, with the theme and the decorating, I'm not gonna come in and I will help you and take direction on what you're gonna need, but I'm not gonna say, here's how I would do it. So if you want the ladder, I'll bring the ladder and go up the ladder for you, but you have to say, this is where I want this hung.
It gives you-
It's, I was a hurt puppy after 3 hours.
Well-
I know, but yeah. But, you know, and I just want to caution, and whether this is something that you want to think about or not, it's really immaterial. You have to be careful. If you do a bingo every single month, where are you gonna get the businesses to contribute?
So, no, see, you can buy prizes.
Okay, that's different, okay, but there were more things too, in that, then. This is a little self-interested, but, if we're doing it every month, what happens in October when I do a Boo Bingo event and then nobody comes? Well, I shouldn't say nobody, because there will be some hardliners who like bingo enough to come
Well-
anyway. But I'm listening to you and the fear is rising in my chest. It's fine, it's just I need to know, because then I'll figure out something else to do instead of bingo.
No, I don't think you have to change course on what you're planning on. All we're looking at is we can bring a little bit bigger revenue in by offering this, but it's not gonna be at the end of every month.
Okay.
You know, we would still decide on, we're gonna have it during the fest. We're gonna have it in February 17th.
Mhm.
And then if we have it another time or two, we'll see how it works out. If we have something going in the village where that would benefit us. But I agree with Mrs. Morgan said, if you have it too often, people are like,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing unique about this. They have it every month.
Yeah.
Is it
So,
something you wanna look at like for a year's worth of planning? I mean, I can see the value in that too. Do I do 3 parties in the park, or do I do 1 party in the park? One, let's wet all the children with the fire department in the park, and 1 movie in the park. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things might be, different enough. But that if we knew that was coming, then it's kind of easier, I think, if we
Well,
knew.
I think for right now, we're gonna get more details, but I think for right now, we're gonna plan at least 2 events with that bingo. And our festival in the fall, or whatever we decide to call it, and then our festival in February, that's for sure.
Okay.
If we do have another one, the board will talk about it and agree, and if it's gonna benefit the village, we will do it. If not, I agree also what you're saying. You do it too often, it's,
I just want to make sure that we create something together that's
well,
unique enough.
that's why
And-
we're having this. It's not gonna be, here's what we're doing type of thing, and it's like, well, okay, you know, I guess I have to accept it. For sure, we're gonna do it 2 times. And, I think if it all goes well, you could make your money back on the licensing fees and with the poll tax and make some profit. I mean, ideally, yes, this is a fundraiser, but when we have a fest, it's great if we broke even. I mean, like, hey, we did really well. We put an event on and it didn't cost us any money to do it. And if we make a little money, that's even better. So is anybody have any questions that I can?
Yes. Are
Anything?
we, okay, in
Yes.
2 weeks, we're going to have this meeting on November 6th.
Yes,
What form does that take?
pardon me?
What form does that take? I mean, are we gonna sit like this? Or is it gonna be a committee kind of situation?
Well, whatever committee people are, you're welcome to sit up at the table here and we can discuss it. This was just an informal setting to get started with tonight. And I didn't have any, like, here's our seating arrangement, 'cause
No, that's not my intent. My intent is, this is weird for a committee.
yeah, well, I didn't know who was gonna be on the committee. Otherwise, I'd say, okay, next time when we have the meeting, the committee members, I'll have them up here at the tables. Because I don't know where else could I put them, either up here or in the audience, but at the start of this, I didn't know who was gonna be on a committee or who wanted to be part
So
of it.
it's always gonna be in conjunction, I mean, again, just devil's advocate here. I just wanna know, is the committee meeting for this always gonna be connected to the village board meeting?
The first couple, yes, and then we will do them separately after that. Because then we can just meet as a committee, as a group.
Okay.
I just thought by doing it this way, anybody that wanted to be involved, if you were gonna be here for the village board meeting and you were gonna come just a little bit earlier, we could do it as a group and see who wanted to be part of it. And then as we get more involved, yeah, we can have it at the village hall or we can have it here, whatever's convenient, and you can have it at any time or day, which works out for the committee.
Gotcha.
And then any of your friends that want to be part of it, you just bring them along and we will fill them in on what's going on. So, yes, ma'am.
Just a random suggestion, you could call it, but as far as decorations, like, I mean, if the dates between Valentine's Day and, St. Patrick's Day, a lot of that stuff goes on sale, or on clearance, you might be able to get that. You know, pot of gold.
Well, no, that's a good idea. That's why we're having it, but that's why I want
I
the
just wanted
group
to throw it out.
here
Yeah.
to be involved in it, instead of me saying, here's what the theme is gonna be.
Yeah.
So this is,
I
this
just thought
group
that's
that's here, you work together and say, here's the theme that we're gonna come up with on this date. We've got this date, I'm gonna talk to Carrie tomorrow. And tomorrow's Tuesday, I'm gonna say tomorrow's Wednesday, tomorrow's Tuesday. See what happens when you get home. But this is just the start. The next meeting, we'll meet before the village board meeting. Have some more positive dates and numbers together as far as the licensing, when we're gonna do the dedication on the walkway at the time and get everything coordinated, the tree lighting. We don't have it now, but I hadn't met with anybody other than randomly coming by on a walk and saying hi, and here's an idea that I have. Does anybody else have a question? JD, I think you had your.
No, I just had a comment. The way the seating arrangement is set up is because I come in here after the seniors have their luncheon on Mondays, and I set them up for the village hall, so it's set up for the village meeting. Come in here whatever time you want before this meeting, sit wherever you choose. It's just random luck that all of the trustees end up at the tables. Nobody here in this peanut gallery is required to sit here. You all can sit wherever you want. I personally set the tables and chairs out for that reason at the 6:30 meeting. So don't feel like you're required to sit here. You may sit wherever you choose.
That really wasn't.
Thank you, JD.
It was just maybe like.
This is how it will be next Monday too. We'll be set up the same way. So if you want to sit at the table, that's fine, sit at the table.
Thank you,
But this will
JD.
be set up the same way. Unless you all choose to come in here, set the tables and chairs after the seniors. All I can do it is I come in here at the end of my day and I stay here and do it, so I will gladly pass that on to somebody else. But if not, this is how we'll be set up on November
6th.
6th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
One more thing, just if you decide, get this license and you decide you want to do some other dates that don't conflict with other events. Another thing you can think about is offer the kitchen to the local businesses, local restaurants. And you say featuring this restaurant this month, and then 2 months, you do it quarterly. 2 or 3 months later, you offer to the other restaurant, and you offer, everybody in town kind of gets a piece of it.
And by having ideas like that, it's really hard to come up with something that somebody else isn't doing.
Yeah.
So that's a great thought. I mean, and that's very good. We have to consider that stuff, because that's what's gonna bring people in. Something that is not offered anywhere else, and which is hard to do. Just like this past car show, someone told me you shouldn't have it on that date. And I'm like, why? They said, well, the biggest car show is in Michigan that day. I said, well, I had to pick a date, so,
Not really our base.
yeah, but anyway,
There's no way of knowing how many times have we had something and it's the same weekend as
Well,
somebody else is doing something. I mean, we
the
have
thing
no
is,
base.
we're gonna put ideas together. We're gonna, as best we can, try to come up with something that makes it work for everybody. It's not gonna be perfect. If anybody has, I guess is unhappy about something, just direct it towards me. If you need my contact information, I will give you my number or my Gmail, and we will talk. I'd rather it be me than it's their fault or it's this person's fault. It's nobody's fault, because when we do this, we're gonna do it as a group and we're gonna win as a group. But if it doesn't go quite right or like it should, then just direct it towards me and I will take care of it in a polite way. And I will talk to whoever I need to talk to, and we'll move on from there. So, anybody else have anything? Yes, ma'am.
Is it too early for me to volunteer to help with the light parade, choosing a theme and doing all the publicity for Fall Fest?
We will, in the next couple meetings, we will be talking about the fest.
My name's Carol Larson, I know you don't know.
Well, that's okay. I will give you my contact information. And when we start, get closer into that, I want to get Cabin Fever kind of wrapped up and on track. so we don't have too many loose ends, and we're kind of heading in the right direction there. And then, yes, your idea is very important. Well, I've talked to a few people that I haven't been able to reach out and discuss things with, but I've gotten some good ideas from folks. And that's what we want, is involvement from everybody instead of a couple people and doing all the work and, it doesn't quite work out that way. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I am a guy, I've been on the, that's pretty good. Ages and ages. One of the things though, if you wait too late, to start on the fest. Like the Shriners, I'm already being asked, when is it next year? Some of the others, they have to know because they're booking other places, and like last year or the year before, you changed the date 3 different times, and they weren't exactly real healthy, and so were a few other places that wanted to go. But because we didn't decide on it until 2 months before, they were already booked. So I think my personal opinion is sooner we can at least get a date set and a theme set. Those are the two most important things for the October Fest.
Is that your way of volunteering for date and date?
Oh, we've got one.
We got one, we got one. I will have.
See, the date, I'm gonna meet in the next couple of weeks, I'm meeting the car show guys. Because if they don't get lined up and have a date, then they won't be back.
Yeah.
So I will, we have a tentative date. It's tentative, it's not set in stone, but we do have a date set for, I think it's 7th, 8th, and 9th. Is that it?
6th, 7th, 8th.
Same as this year, except it's not, does that make sense? The same as.
If you're going Friday, it'd be 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
It's usually the first weekend after Labor Day.
So anyway, right now, that's not set in stone, but I had to come up with something, so
So that's what I mean.
when I meet them,
Yes, I could say
what,
it's tentatively here, but not
yeah,
permanent.
so, yeah, we will be working on that. Yes, ma'am.
Would it be safe to reassure folks that before this year ends, we will have a date, the
Oh, we
ladies
will.
will have a theme?
Yeah.
And in a good world, we'll also have some food vendors and some music acts. The signing process already begin before we even get to 2024.
We will, this will all be in place. This is only the first meeting that we're having here, so we're gonna, at the next meeting, we'll have more things lined up as far as cabin fever. Soon as cabin fever is secured and taken care of, then we will move on to the fest, even if it's December and we get cabin fever, but we have to have one thing wrapped up before we get into the next. Otherwise, there's too many loose ends and then we don't know what direction we're gonna go into, so. Does anybody have anything else?
I do. What was the general rule of thumb with the Fall Fest? I don't know if you guys remember the first weekend, the second weekend.
Well, we can do whatever we want, because now Ben's in charge, so we can move it up
It
later.
was predominantly the first weekend after Labor Day, when it got changed from being in October because the weather was always terrible.
And it falls in between all the dates we've had before. Now we're
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, and then the other one's like.
Yeah,
13.
and it got moved the one year because somehow the park got reserved before it was locked up.
Yeah.
But I think that was just an anomaly, but normally it's the first weekend after Labor Day.
So anyway, right now, that's what we're looking at, but it's, Carrie asked me and I says, we're just talking, but that's what we're looking at right now. I will tell her the 17th, so she can block that out. At the next meeting, if you guys can bring some information, I think that's a great idea. When you get more information on, you can send me a message or I can reach out to people about decorating for Halloween and whatever we're gonna need with that, so. Anybody have anything else? I want to thank everybody for coming. The next meeting will be November 6th at 5:30 here. And, do we have a motion, Ben?
If anyone does want to help with Halloween, just let me know and we'll come up with a time to do the setup and stuff. I do know we need a lot of duct tape. That's all I know, so. Go ahead, sorry.
There's nothing else. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah,
Motion to.
Okay, adjourn.
thank you, Ben.
Thank you, man.